Coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios, this is Prime News on SABC 3 and in your top stories at this hour.
So the allegation is withdrawn with due apologies from Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi for any inconvenience.
First up, evidence leader Advocate Norman Arendse has informed Parliament's ad hoc committee that he received notification of withdrawal over an allegation pertaining to the former police minister Bheki Cele.
We had an intense manhunt after we couldn't arrest him at his workplace.
The Madlanga Commission has heard that Lucky Molefe, the nephew of alleged cartel member Katiso Molefe, remains at large.
Tony Ngeni is a cadre of many years.
And the Umkhonto Wesizwe Party leader Jacob Zuma has officially unveiled ANC veteran and former Chief Whip Tony Ngeni as the party's second deputy president and its member of parliament. In Focus tonight, we bring you the stories that matter. Good evening and welcome to Prime News on SABC 3. My name is Bheki Mutumabolete. I invite you to stick with us as we take you through the day's crucial updates, and here they are. Former Police Minister Bheki Cele maintains that the Political Killings Task Team was disbanded prematurely and that its mission to combat politically motivated killings, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal, was far from complete. He appeared before the Parliament's ad hoc committee today, where he gave compelling testimony on the disbandment of the PKTT and responded to a series of explosive allegations made by the KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi.
The letter says there's no value and has achieved nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not a letter per se, but it's in the contents of Mary that has achieved nothing. He even accused that it was not supposed to be there. He should have taken President to court for it not to be there. But that it has no value and all, I would not agree. In that province, things do flare up now and again. The mandate of this team is to investigate, arrest those people and create stability.
Meanwhile, Mkhwanazi has withdrawn an allegation he made that Cele received money from Vusimuzi Cat Matlala. Mkhwanazi explained the withdrawal by saying the team that was working on the analysis got the bank account number wrong and that it was not linked to Cele.
Just before we adjourned, we received a text message and subsequently we had a short conversation with Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi in which he says that this allegation is withdrawn.
Okay.
The team, and you probably know better than us, that was working on the analysis got the bank account number wrong, and that it's not a reference to you. So the allegation is withdrawn with due apologies from Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi for any inconvenience or hurt caused.
More on this, the Madlanga Commission has heard that Lucky Molefe, the nephew of alleged cartel member Katiso Molefe, remains at large. The detectives assigned to probe the murder of a man Swart, who died in a hail of 23 bullets in April 2024, testified that they intended to arrest Lucky Molefe on the same day as his uncle Katiso, but the operation fell flat when Lucky went on the run.
The Madlanga Commission, probing allegations of criminality, political interference and corruption in the criminal justice system, has heard that Lucky Molefe, a former Transnet employee and nephew to Katiso Molefe, who according to witness B is the person who allegedly ordered the hit on Vereniging engineer Armand Swart, is on the run. Swart was an employee of QTech who blew the whistle on tender manipulation at Transnet, which implicated Lucky Molefe.
We had an intense manhunt after we couldn't arrest him at his workplace, and then we went to all his known address. We couldn't find him. Fortunately, the information kept coming, and we learned that he was being hidden. He was being hidden. There was a deliberate intention for us not to find him.
In addition, Witness B addressed her senior Major General Richard Shibiri's alleged persistent keen interest in the Operation Takedown of Katiso Molefe as a means to intimidate them into dropping the probe. The Commission has previously heard evidence that Shibiri allegedly attempted to bait or influence the detectives into taking a bribe.
Every time there's an encounter between us and him, he keeps dropping names that carries weight. And for me, it looks like it's a sort of trying to intimidate you in a way, to say, look at how powerful the people are having interest in this.
In addition, Witness B equally expressed concerns over the handling of the initial bail application of Katiso Molefe, alleging that the presiding officer was allegedly quote-unquote too lenient on Molefe. Commission continues on Friday with Witness C testifying remotely. Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Pretoria.
And in more related news, the Democratic Alliance in Gauteng has announced its plans to submit a motion of no confidence against Premier Panyaza Lesufi to the Speaker of the Provincial Legislature. This follows findings by the Public Protector that there was no legislative basis for the establishment of the province's Amapanyaza traffic wardens.
The Democratic Alliance says the phasing out of the Amapanyaza traffic wardens is one of the reasons it believes Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi should no longer remain in office. The party has described the establishment of the now reconfigured traffic warden program as reckless and want Lesufi removed from his position. This follows the Premier's announcement that the wardens would be disbanded for now, undergo further training, and eventually be absorbed into Gauteng's Traffic Police Department.
There's so many examples that, have led us to a point where we do believe that a motion of no confidence against Panyaza is what is now going to be needed here. We want a premier that is going to be working to do the right things, and not a premier that is just going to be making reckless announcements, spend money in an illegal manner.
The DA-sponsored motion of no confidence comes hot on the heels of the Public Protector's report, which found that the wardens were set up without following the Criminal Procedures Act, making their establishment and deployment irregular.
There is no evidence of them having been malicious. Hence, we did not take remedial action in terms of a disciplinary action to be taken, but rather that appropriate training and competency upliftment needs to be done to ensure that the legal division in particular is able to interpret the law correctly and advise in an appropriate manner.
Balentle Mthethwa, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Welcome back to Prime News. The Umkhonto weSizwe Party leader Jacob Zuma has officially unveiled ANC veteran and former Chief Whip Tony Yengeni as the MK Party's second deputy president and its member of parliament. The announcement ends weeks of speculation about Yengeni's departure from the ANC and his move to join the MK Party.
Tony Yengeni is a cadre of many, many years. He's a cadre who took a decision to leave the country as a young man, to go and prepare himself to fight to free the black South Africans in South Africa. Indeed, he did everything that was supposed to be done and added the political education, and he has remained a very solid leader, solid cadre.
The City of Tshwane Executive Mayor Dr. Nasipi Moya has rubbished reports that the city spent over 777 million rand on water tankers in the past 9 months. This follows a report leaked by the Democratic Alliance in Tshwane, with the party accusing the current coalition government, headed by Moya, of exceeding the allocated budget by 457 million rand.
Executive Mayor Dr. Nasipi Moya and her mayoral committee attempting to clear the air. This after reports that the Tshwane Metro spent an astronomical amount on water tankers in the past 9 months. Moya has slammed those reports as untrue, saying she inherited outstanding unpaid invoices from a predecessor.
The claim that the city of Tshwane spent 777 million on water tankers is incorrect, and it misrepresents the real situation, and it's important that we take you through what the correct figure is. This figure is not based on audited expenditure, but on a system extract showing the total value of purchase orders, including about 156 million rand in cancelled, duplicated, or unprocessed transactions.
The Democratic Alliance in Tshwane has written to the city manager and the Public Protector's Office to probe the expenditure of over 777 million rand on water tankers. City Manager Johan Metler disputed the figure.
Time-wise, in July of 24, there were the Rand water outages. In November and December of 24, planned outages on Heights reservoirs. In the following year, in May of 25, there was the Hartebeeshoek shutdown. And then in June of 25, there was the highest number of low-level reservoir alarms ever recorded on our telemetry system, coincided with the year's largest expenditure on tankering.
Offenses Timo, SABC News, Pretoria.
Other news, a member of the military during the apartheid regime, Joffel van der Westhuizen, will continue to be cross-examined in the inquest into the killings of the Craddock Four in the Gqeberha High Court tomorrow. Van der Westhuizen is accused of ordering the signal that called for the permanent removal of Matthew Goniwe, who is one of the Craddock Four members.
Joffel van der Westhuizen opened the day with a list of topics he would not delve into. According to him, because of his advanced age and the fact that this happened decades ago, he can't recollect everything accurately. The 82-year-old said that he testified at length during the Zitzman inquest of 1993.
Now, the reference of the OPGBS with a reference to various minutes of meetings of the OPGBS.
The commander of the Eastern Cape Joint Management Centre agreed that he had sent the signal but could not recollect its contents.
That is correct, so my lady. I only knew Mr. Goniwe, but the other names were added by Colonel Lawrence du Plessis because that was within the nature of his work or his duties.
Before the court adjourned for the day, Advocate Howard Varney, representing the families of the Craddock Four, put it to Van der Westhuizen that they will argue that the evidence Van der Westhuizen put forward is false and will prove to the court that he was involved in the planning and operations of the killings of the Craddock Four. Kim Daniels, SABC News, Gqeberha.
Bail has been set at 2,000 rand each for 6 of the 8 learners from Milton High School who are charged with assault to do grievous bodily harm. This is after they appeared in the Cape Town Magistrates Court in connection with the bullying video which went viral on social media, in which a grade 10 learner was beaten with objects including a hockey stick.
The 6 learners who were in grade 12 had to hand over their cell phones with pins to the investigating officer. 5 cell phones were handed in at court, while the other one must be handed over within 48 hours. Their bail conditions also stipulate that they may not intimidate witnesses or complainants in the matter. 2 juveniles appeared in a separate courtroom, where one had been assessed and released on warning, while the other was released into the care of his parents, pending an assessment on Friday. Each of the accused faces 8 charges of assault GBH.
One of the conditions that we were waiting for before we postponed, we got an instruction or directive from the Department of Education in the Western Cape that they will provide an alternative place for them to write exams. They will have to study at home, but they will have to go to, I think, the Northern District to write their exams.
The accused, who have been suspended from school, also face disciplinary processes, which are expected to be finalised within the next few weeks.
2 other videos have come to light involving some of the learners in the first video, and that will be placed in the investigation file, which is currently being conducted right now. Further interviews are taking place at the school. The disciplinary hearing will be held.
Meanwhile, the education activist group Equal Education says the criminalization of learners is not the solution to stop bullying in schools. The accused are expected to appear in court again in January next year. Vanessa Puna, SABC News, Cape Town.
SABC, host broadcaster of the G20 South Africa 2025.
Thank you for staying with us. The Reserve Bank Governor, Lesetja Kganyago, has called for the urgent modernization and integration of cross-border payment systems in Africa. He delivered the keynote address at the close of the conference hosted by the Central Bank on advancing cross-border payments.
Central Bank Governor Lesetja Kganyago opened the meeting, bringing together policymakers, regulators and payment service providers, setting out the consequences if Africa is left behind.
The world is moving, excuse the cliché, the world is moving fast in the area of fast payments. And Africa might be left behind unless we catch up with that.
Head of the National Payment System Department at the SAB, Arif Ismail, says the region has made commendable progress in building this type of infrastructure, but warns challenges remain.
There's still people who do remittances who pay 8%, 9%, even more than 12%. And simply this is not acceptable. We've got to do better. We've done well for wholesale payments, but we've got to do much better for retail payments.
He adds that now's not the time for complacency, as South Africa awaits the final decision on its grey listing status this week, which has meant higher levels of compliance monitoring. Nosipho Khatebe, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Bafana coach Hugo Broos has revealed his plans to prepare his team for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco in December and January. The 73-year-old Belgian says the future of South African football is bright and that the country can become a powerhouse on the African continent if they can build on the foundation that he has laid.
Just over a week after Bafana booked their place at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, Broos has shifted his focus to the 2025 AFCON tournament in Morocco. After finishing third at last year's AFCON tournament in Ivory Coast, Bafana will be expected to at least reach the semi-finals in Morocco. And to achieve his goal, his team needs to be adequately prepared.
We start the 8th with the preparation, 8th of December. So we go to Tax here in Pretoria. We stay there till I think the 17th because we have to be there 5 days before our first game in Morocco. So the day before we leave, we play a friendly game.
Meanwhile, the Bafana coach says with the facilities and the talent the country has, all that needs to happen is for whoever succeeds him to build on the foundation he has laid.
So you have the basic now. Just go on and build up the thing. And then again, I think South Africa can become a very good football country in this continent, for sure.
Broos added his assistant Helmel Mukelele would be the right person to succeed him as Bafana coach when his contract ends after next year's World Cup. Pesinkato, SABC News, Johannesburg.
And that is all we have for you this evening. Thank you for tuning in. We are back with you again tomorrow. And until then, from myself, Becky, and the team, stay ahead of the curve. Up next is your weather update. Good night.
Good evening to you. Let's take a look at all your weather details. Clear conditions overnight through the Western Cape. Be on the lookout for onshore winds up to about 30 kilometers an hour. Partly cloudy skies possible through parts of the Northern Cape in towards the Eastern Cape. Otherwise nice and clear through the East Coast and the interior of South Africa this evening. Ahead towards Friday's weather outlook, we've got sunny skies and hot conditions through the central parts in towards the northeast and the eastern coastline. Partly cloudy conditions dominating the Eastern Cape, whilst the Western Cape expected to be mostly sunny tomorrow. South to southwesterly winds up to 30 kilometers an hour. Be on the lookout for dry conditions in parts of the Northern Cape and Free State. This could lead to fault fires, so please do take care. Bloemfontein dropping down to about 14 degrees this evening. Johannesburg dipping to 11. Richards Bay 15 overnight. Gqeberha the same. Cape Town dropping to 13, but warming up on Friday to a maximum of 24 under sunny skies. Daar up to about 32, Bloemfontein 30 degrees, and Kimberley up to 33 degrees on Friday. Pretoria up to 31, whilst further north in the country we reach the mid-30s around Messina and Palabora. Mbombela tomorrow up to about 32 degrees. That's it from me. Enjoy your evening.